Whee! How's it going, everybody? Second video for this testing ground cycle, and we're going to talk about Shugoki. From what I've read, the community's perception of his changes is the most diverse. You can hear everything from the changes that made him bad to the changes that made him top tier. So let's get one thing straight, Shugoki is not worse. I don't know how anyone could think that, but the testing ground version of this hero is superior to the one you can play in the normal life version currently in the game. Quite a few flaws have been fixed. What a lot of you might experience and interpret as the hero being worse is the way that he's played now. He plays differently than before. He's no longer reliant on getting to his finishes to make his mix-up work. Well, the old mix-up has been partially removed anyways, so you need to rethink your approach on how to play him a little. It's not like everything changed, but you still need to make some adjustments in how you fight as and against him now. But let's go over the changes and see how they affect him. First is the Demon Drift. Oni charge has been replaced with an extra sprint move similar to what Shinobi has. When sprinting, you can press sprint again to enter and exit this super sprint. It no longer bumps people out of the way and you can't ledge with it either, so it did lose some usefulness. You now suffer the same way as all other heroes when you want to enter a point that's been body blocked. Currently, by repeatedly tapping the sprint button, you enter and exit so quickly that the stamina consumption is kept to a minimum, which gives Shugoki arguably the best rotation speed in the entire game. While it is hilarious and extremely effective, I don't know whether we'll get to keep this bug. I'm really torn myself here. Maybe it'll get annoying in 2 weeks and it's just the funny factor that makes me want to keep it. But if you haven't tried this yet, go and drift around the map a little. Next thing is his hug. That's probably the most controversial change as it alters how he is played by quite a bit. But first let me remind you of a number. People apparently get hit by 80% of all hugs being thrown out. An absolute absurd number, especially given the fact that there is tons of information out there on how to counter it. And even without that knowledge, it makes zero sense. It shows an insane refusal of players to adapt. If someone repeatedly tries to parry unblockable heavies and eats a hug every single fucking time, then it is 100% on the player. Yet, with such a huge hit rate, Ubisoft needed to address it somehow. So, the approach here is to remove the soft feint Demon's Embrace and change the input back to how it was at release. Backwards plus guard break is how you do it again. This takes away one option of the unblockable mix-up. What about the properties of the hug then? It is a 900 millisecond move. The hidden indicator that the soft feint one had is gone now. It shows an 800 ms indicator, just as expected. Recovery wise, it is still ridiculous. We're looking at 1600 ms for guard break and dodge, and 1300 milliseconds for guard swap. It is a very slight improvement as the only thing that it stops is a out of stamina heavy. But other than that, I still think it's way too big a recovery. The chance of that move landing when not confirmed, it should be pretty small. So being punished for it so harshly is a little over the top. The move also lost its hyper armor. I personally dislike that change. Too many random lights have been thrown out in hopes of interrupting stuff. I've explained this in a video before, so if you want the full story, feel free to give that one a watch. What this means is that Ubisoft is clearly telling us that this move is solely intended to be used as a guaranteed punish and in ganks. Using it in a normal fight, one we want or anything, and hoping for it to land is not what it's there for. At the moment, the hug is guaranteed on a wall throw, as well as after a demon ball, as long as you're close enough to the wall. And the same goes for light parries. Damage is 20 and it heals for 10, which means it is a 30 HP health swing. It depends on how much you value the heal, so choose your punishes accordingly. Then, a lot of people mention you can no longer hug minions. With this change, they went back to the old way of doing it. you need to guard break throw a minion and then perform the hug. Otherwise, the game won't consider the minion as a target. But it's still possible, you just need to do it a little differently. Moving on to the headbutt. That one does 10 damage now, and it is 500 milliseconds for the forward dodge and in-chain one. And the side dodge one is 533. So, the move does damage now and is also available from a forward dodge. You have a bash that does direct damage and lets you chain to your finisher heavies. The side dodge version is slightly faster compared to the old testing ground version. Other than that, it's a variably timed side dodge attack with the input window being between 300 and 500 milliseconds into your dodge. It is a pretty good dodge attack and it lets you avoid things nicely. The forward one also has a variable timing. The minimum is 300 ms and can be delayed up to 500 ms. This puts it on par with Centurion's kick in terms of minimum delay. While not his main offense, it is still a bash, and it doing damage instantly certainly is a big plus. Be prepared for people to throw that one out a lot. When trying to punish it, remember that Shugo can chain into a heavy. Without chaining, you get a guard break. But the variably timed heavies allow for a mix-up afterwards. Remember, it's a combo heavy, so the Shugo can't even fully charge and your GB will bounce. He also has a forward dodge heavy now. If you played the previous testing grounds, you should be familiar with it. The move was really needed because of the fact that Goki got rolled away from a lot. That problem isn't as prevalent anymore because of the changes to the mix-up, but having a dodge forward heavy never hurts. It's a good move. This one lets you chain. If you perform the run-in heavy, which is pretty much the identical move, it won't let you chain unless you lock on. So I hope that is another change that could be implemented. Just let him chain without locking on. Then a change that was long overdue and I think everyone agrees with. The lights lost their hyper armor. They are no longer trading despite being frame disadvantaged and are a less annoying interrupt tool in general. I don't think I have to explain this in great detail. But yeah, that's it with Shugo. It might take people a while to get used to how he's played now. More bashes, less hugs. I think that this is one of these reworks that will take a while to be fully figured out. He might be a hidden gem, or he might drop off after a few weeks, once people have fully grasped his potential. 1 week of testing ground might not be enough, but what I can say without question is that he did benefit from these changes, and he's still fun to play. But I can also see lots of people whining about how he plays against. Let's wait and see what the final implementation of Shugo will look like. Let me know what you think. Having said that, I hope the video was helpful. Thanks for watching. Laters everybody.